Blackburn worked 8 shutout innings against the Indians.
Northland Ford defense for the Minnesota Twins, and it is a different look with Ben Revere in left, Denard Span in center, Jason Repko in right, Danny Valencia, Alexi Casilla, Matt Colbert, Jose Morales playing his first game in the United States at first base, and Drew Butera behind the plate. And Ben Revere, who by trade as a center fielder, is in left. Matt Colbert, a lot of the regular players out of the lineup. And the key, I think, will be Jose Morales at first base, who, save for a couple of games in Puerto Rico in winter ball, has never played an inning at first base.
Well, he's taking a lot of ground balls, but actually no game situation, where he's found himself in here this afternoon. Hopefully he'll do a good job. And look at this, Michael Kadire actually watching a ball game. It's been a long time for Michael.
Michael Brantley will lead things off for the Indians. The Indians got an early lead, tried to hang on to it. Twins caught and passed them finally in the 8th inning. And then it was watching some West Coast baseball last night.
Yeah, we talked about Blackburn a couple starts ago, 8 shutout innings. In that outing against the Indians, he had 14 ground ball outs, 6 fly ball outs to go along with 3 strikeouts.
Brantley, Sutton, and Chu here in the first, and Blackburn delivers strike 1. And strike 2. Brantley with a failed earlier stint with the Indians, sent down. He's done much better since his recall. And he takes 3 pitches.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
1 down here in the first.
Well, home plate umpire Sam Holbrook. Right, let's take a look at this pitch. Blackburn, sometimes that ball will come back a little bit. Good pitch on the corner, on the black. And Blackburn starts the game off with a strikeout.
Here's Drew Sutton. A couple of hits in the ball game last night. A couple of strikeouts as well. And Blackburn misses the inside corner, ball 1.
Yeah, Sutton claimed off waivers from the Cincinnati Reds back in early August. Getting some chances here at the major league level. He came up and down the last couple years with the Reds. Not a lot of major league experience, 27-year-old.
His path to the big leagues in Cincinnati blocked, at least partially, by former Twin Orlando Cabrera, who a year ago was part of a furious second half comeback for the Twins. Cabrera looks like he's headed to the playoffs again.
Yeah, Cincinnati with an 8-game lead over the Cardinals in the National League Central Division.
Down and away, 2-1.
One thing I've seen about Nick Blackburn is he always has that little hesitation over the pitching rubber when he releases the ball. Right here, gets set and then creates that good downward plane. Doesn't miss by much, but a walk to Sutton.
After a 3-pitch strikeout, and now Shin-Soo Choo will come to the plate. And Chu with a couple of strikeouts last night, a walk, hit batter, didn't put a ball in play.
The 20 home runs, second straight season that Chu has hit 28 home runs with 82 RBIs. Last year had 86 RBIs with 20 home runs.
Breaking ball down and in. Butera scoops it out. Ball 1.
Blackburn, like I mentioned, making his second start this season against Cleveland in his career, his 11th career start against the Indians. He's 5-3 with a very good 2.63 earned run average. 20 earned runs in 68 in the third inning, so he's had some very good games against the Indians.
And a good September, which is even more remarkable given what's around him in this Cleveland lineup on a daily basis. A lot of cast-offs from other organizations, a lot of people like Sutton trying to establish major league credentials. Fly to short left. And Revere back, then in, 1 away, or 2 away, excuse me.
Yeah, Chu was named the American League Player of the Week last week because of good numbers in September and the week.
This matinee baseball game brought to you in Sony High Definition. Here's Travis Hafner. Hafner with an RBI double in the first inning last night. Contributed a single later in the ball game. Cloudy skies here. Still a beautiful sight to see. Well, a nearly full ballpark. We suspect by the time everyone gets to their seats, we'll have another sellout here, something close to it. Twins last night drew their 3 millionth fan and then some, and will continue to add to what will be a record-setting attendance figure here in Minnesota.
Yeah, you see some empty seats, but you know what? There's a lot of fans that may be here for the first time, and they're just kind of walking around the stadium.
They're eating. It's noon.
Well, also, I mean, they're looking at all the ambiance and everything that this stadium has created. It's absolutely beautiful, and what a way to bring it in.
Yeah, christen a new ballpark with a championship.
It in,
1-1 to Hafner. A little bit of a footnote about the attendance figure that we talked about last night. Here's a liner to right, and that'll drop in front of Jason Repko, first and second with 2 down. Twins today will eclipse the season attendance mark set back in 1988. But Bert, I think you remember this too. There was a corporate ticket buyout. The TV rights holder in 1988, and I know this because I work for them. They worked in concert with the Twins to buy out tickets to try to get to the 3 million mark. It was the first time in American League history that an American League club had drawn that figure. So in terms of actual tickets sold and fans purchasing the tickets, were already setting a record.
Well, I remember in '88, you know, they were so close,
right?
And so they needed help to get over that 3 million mark, and you know, they were able to do it.
1-0 to Shelley Duncan.
But because of the '87 team, people just flocked, you know, to see their favorite Twins team because of the '87 World Series championship.
What makes that so remarkable, and to give you an example of how fan interest had mushroomed because of the World Series, the last home game of '87, a lot was made, and appropriately so, that the Twins had eclipsed the 2 million mark in attendance. And then lo and behold, the next year, because of the World Series title, they passed 3 million. Duncan takes a strike, 2-1.
We talk about a baseball game, but we've also used the word event. This is an event here, you know, and what a great feeling as a player down on that field when you come to the ballpark and you're out on that field and there's 40,000 people cheering you on. You know, it's like you're in New York or Boston, and that's the atmosphere I think that this stadium has created. They've created the LA, the Anaheim type atmosphere where there's 40 plus thousand night after night. And as a player, believe me, you feel that. I spent 5 years in Cleveland when this was our season attendance right here.
People here today.
Yes.
2-2 to Shelley Duncan. 2 on, 2 out here in the Cleveland first. A little bit low. Blackburn's about to deliver his 20th pitch of this first inning. 10 strikes, 9 balls, and it was the 1-out walk that kind of set things up for the Indians as they have built a threat here in the first inning.
Yeah, Shelley Duncan, the son of now pitching coach Dave Duncan under Tony La Russa in St. Louis, also has a brother that played some baseball, Chris.
Runners go, pitch bounce foul.
Big, strong kid. Originally signed by the Yankees, came up with the Yankees, up and down for 3 seasons in his first season with the Indians.
The Cardinals, Dave Duncan's team, look like they're not going to make the playoffs this year. Yet 2 of the 5 best pitchers in the National League and the best overall player and the world-renowned manager, but it doesn't look like they're going to make it this year.
Again, they're 8 games behind the Reds. And the wild card right now, that's going to be a pretty good race in the National League wild card.
Off the middle and through, and the Indians again get a first inning run. So a 2-out hit, in fact a pair of them, one by Hafner, one by Duncan, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, the average isn't there for Duncan, but he does create some power in the lineup. He picked up his 32nd RBI right there. And a couple of games ago, we saw Duncan hit a ball to left center that looked like it was going to go out. And here he just rolls one right up the middle. So Sutton scoring the first run of the ball game.
And now Jason Nix. Indians have a 20 home run hitter and 4 other guys in the lineup today in double digits in home runs, including Nix. Blackburn clips the outside corner. Manny Acta can't be blamed if he looked at what he saw last night across the field and in the other clubhouse, saying, I want to be like those guys.
You know what, as a player, too, I mean, I was on ball clubs that you watched other teams celebrate a clinching. I stood around and watched because that's what you want to do. And you know, the Cleveland Indians, they have the youngest team in all of baseball. So there's a lot of young guys getting opportunity. And if I'm a Cleveland Indian last night, I know that, you know, the Twins celebrated later, but I would watch. I would watch TV. I would watch the excitement of what the Twins went through. And then in the back of your mind, you say, you know what, I want to do that one time, too.
1-2 to Jason Nix. And now 2-2. Remember, in 2001, the Twins saw the Indians clinch. And the Twins were in contention and kind of, at the end, got overrun by a veteran team. And it had an impact to the point where Doug Minkiewicz defiantly said they better enjoy this one because they're not going to have one for a while, sensing that the Twins are ready to go on a run, and he was right. Swing and a miss, and Blackburn gets to come off the mound. Down just 1-0, leaving a couple of runners aboard. Let's check out the Twins batting order brought to you by Menards. Denard Span in his usual spot, leading off. Alexi Casilla hitting second. Jason Kubel third. Danny Valencia hitting cleanup. Jose Morales fifth. Matt Tolbert sixth. Ben Revere got his first 2 hits on Sunday. Then Jason Repko and Drew Butera.
And a Jeep scouting report on Carlos Carrasco making his 5th start, his 10th major league start, his second against the Twins. I mentioned he hooked up against Nick Blackburn in that outing. He pitched outstanding. 7 1/3 shutout baseball, innings of shutout baseball. And he's coming off his first major league win in Kansas City. Cleveland beat the Indians 11-4.
That was the game that Jim Thome ended up winning with his solo home run in the 12th. Here's Span, who got the game-winning hit in the 8th inning last night. And he takes outside, ball 1. Drove in his 57th run of the season. Hudson followed with an RBI double, and the Twins ended up winning by 2. Two-0.
Carrasco, a youngster just 23 years old from Venezuela, coming over in the trade with the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Cliff Lee trade.
On the outside corner, 2-1. Twins starting, I guess, 3 what you would call regular players in today's game. Span, Kubel, and Valencia. 3-1. And I think, in case fans are wondering why, it has much less to do with any celebrating that went on last night, rather than guys like Cuddyer need a break. And Joe Mauer, of course, is kind of recovering from a knee situation. There's a called strike. Span's taken 5 pitches. Cuddyer gets a break. Delman Young's been going to the post just about every game for the Twins. Twins have an off day tomorrow, and a great opportunity for a lot of these guys to get 2 days off.
Right.
And a pop up behind third. Jason Nix struggles a little bit, stumbles, but makes the catch. 1 away. Indians defense brought to you by Northland Ford. Duncan, Brantley, and Chu across the outfield. Nix, Sutton, Valbuena, Laporta, the infielders. Chris Jimenez behind the plate.
That's a defense that for the Indians, they've made 107 errors this year. One thing that Manny Actor would like to improve on. Better defense. Carrasco, we saw Gomez, Jamar Gomez the other night, 2 nights ago, kind of, auditioning for next year, and that's what Carrasco's trying to do here. Last year he came up, made 5 starts. He was 0-4 with an ERA over 8. This year, a little different story. So just that, maybe that little bit of a September call-up last year is helping him kind of feel his way in this year.
Casilla drives it to right, and Chu won't get it. It'll be an extra base hit for Casilla. And now misplayed on the warning track. Casilla wants one more. And he's in with a triple. So the tying run at third with 1 away here in the first.
One thing we have seen from Alexi Casilla is that, he knows what his role is now. He's not the everyday second baseman with Orlando Hudson. But when Hudson was out, J.J. Hardy was out. He did a great job of playing second and short. Here, got a pitch up over the head of Chu, and then he tried to barehand it. And Casilla seeing that and said, you know what, I'm going to go for 3. And Casilla with his 4th triple of the year for the Twins. That's their 38th triple, the most in the American League.
Jason Kubel with the tying run at third and 1 away. Kubel looking for home run number 20 on the season. Swing and a miss, 1-1. He is hitting third with 19 home runs. The rest of the lineup today has a total of 15 home runs. Twins team that has hit now 3 more home runs than they have allowed on the season. Pulled foul, and Carrasco now with a 1-2 count to Kubel.
Nice play right there by Jerry White, the first base coach. Scotty Alger at third for the Twins.
Infield playing back with the speedy Casilla at third. A ground ball anywhere but back to the mound should score the tying run. It's hit hard on the ground to first. Casilla probably won't go. One and 2 to Kubel. And now 2-2 with the third baseman Nix playing about 30 feet off the bag. Casilla can get a huge lead from third base. And that lead will lengthen as Carrasco gets set to deliver a pitch.
It just helps them score if that ball gets by the pitcher.
And breaking pitch down and in. Kubel strikes out. Casilla is still at third, not two away.
Carrasco making just his fifth major league start, but he's done a very good job against left-handers. Left-handers coming into the ballgame hitting only 167. Right-handers hitting 353. So he picks up a big strikeout right there of Jason Kubel.
Like a lot of championship ball clubs, Twins filled with veterans, but it seems like most championship ball clubs have one newcomer. One guy that the fans are getting to know and appreciate, and that guy for the Twins this year has been Danny Valencia. 1991, it was Chuck Knobloch. Valencia takes a strike. Valencia's gotten so many key hits for the Twins. He got a big one in the sixth inning last night. Single to get the Twins to within a couple of runs. Breaking pitch gets a wave and a miss. Two strikes.
Yeah, good hard slider. Carrasco with a fastball that can get in the upper 90s at times. Very good changeup. He'll mix in that curveball, and that last one, the slider. Had a little breakdown, and Valencia went fishing after it.
So Carrasco trying to pitch around the one-out triple. Casilla bluffs down the line. Valencia lifts it to right. Chu in the neighborhood to end the inning. Casilla left at third. After an inning, the Indians lead 1-0.
Inning at Target Field to another full house. The attendance has been spectacular all season, and once again the Twins will sell out. Just look at the crowd here today. Well, today Minnesota passed the 3,030,673 mark. That is significant because it means the Twins set an all-time single-season attendance record. And that fan they've identified today was Jill Ahrens of Elk River, who came through Gate 6 at Target Field. And Jill won a Twins jersey, a framed print signed by Joe Mauer and Ron Gardenhire. She'll be throwing out the first pitch on October 2nd. Gets 2 tickets to that game. She gets a team autographed bat. Jill Ahrens of Elk River, fan number 3,030,673. Dick and Vern.
You think Jill woke up and knew that she was going to be that fan? Congratulations to her.
Woke up probably just thrilled to be coming to Target Field to watch the championship Twins play, and a lot more happened once she got here. 1-1 to Matt Laporta. 2-1. Laporta, Valbuena, and Jimenez to hit here against Blackburn in the second. Yeah, a sharp single to center. Third hit for the Indians. They've all been singles. And Laporta's aboard here in the second. And that'll bring up Valbuena. Valbuena to hit in front of the number 9 hitter Jimenez.
Blackburn has not had a ground ball out yet. It'd be a good time to get one right now. 19 double play turn behind Blackburn this year.
One strike. Indians have had, in addition to everything else, some injury issues in the middle infield. Remember Jason Donald when we were in Cleveland a week and a half ago. He tried to bunt. The ball hit his finger and dinged up his finger to the point where he hasn't played. And then here the other day, as Asdrubal Cabrera fell and sprained his wrist going after a ground ball. There's a line drive to right, and the Indians are lifting the ball against Blackburn. And the throw cut off by the shortstop Casilla. First and second, nobody out for Chris Jimenez. Last night the Twins clinched the American League Central title, and our cameras were rolling. You can go to foxsportsnorth.com for behind the scenes footage of the celebration, player reaction. Check out the beer and champagne showers. It's at foxsportsnorth.com, and we'll stream last night's celebration live to the web following today's game. You know, I'm watching all that. In fact, you could see it in that shot there. And you've been in those situations more often than I have and more intimately than I have as a player. But you're in there and you just see a lot of nonsense. It's crazy. You've got beer and champagne spraying everywhere, and grown men are acting like little kids. But I couldn't help last night being in the clubhouse, looking up and seeing Kirby Puckett's quote high on the wall there, which says, and you got a brief shot of it there, "Live for today. Tomorrow isn't promised to anyone." And for some reason, that resonated with me more last night than any other time I've seen that. Why not celebrate? Because you don't know what's going to happen once you get to the playoffs, or for that matter, the balance of the week here. Blackburn goes to third. They get a force play there on a bunt back to the mound.
Yeah, Jimenez, bunted the ball too hard, and a good play by Blackburn. Now, Drew Butera, the catcher, he has to come out yelling, third, third, third. Danny Valencia, because that ball was hit right back to him so hard, he had to backpedal. See Valencia at the third base right there, going back to the bag. He becomes a first baseman, basically. Gets the force out at third base. So good communication there, and the Twins get the out.
Here's Brantley with runners at first and second and one away. And he lifts a soft liner into right field. That'll get Valbuena to third. He'll be stopped. Repko's throw on the fly to the plate and Butera. So 3 singles in the inning and another threat for Cleveland.
You know what I enjoyed last night is how you really got involved in this, Dick. I mean, you would seem like, did you stand in the center and tell everybody to drench you?
Yes. That was my request. It was an interesting drive home. Got about a half-hour drive, and I didn't take a sip the entire night, but my shirt I think would have blown a 1.4 if I'd have been stopped. Sliced foul. The hitter is Drew Sutton. He walked and scored in the first inning, and Blackburn, as you said, still has not gotten the ground ball out. The only out on the ground, the one put on the ground with the bunt.
Hey, leaving some pitches up, and Blackburn relies on that good sinker to get some ground balls. And he's missing low, and he seems to be, it looked like a slider right there. He just missed down and in.
You know, we did a lot of interviews last night, and the one that stood out because of the content, everybody said all the usual things, but Carl Pavano said, I asked him about having the week and a half now to kind of gear up, almost 2 weeks to get ready for a playoff game, and he says, well, we still have to win, in essence saying there's a ground ball to second. Maybe they can get that double play. 1, 2, double play. Nicely done.
Yes.
Blackburn gets out of it, giving up 3 hits in a scoreless second inning.
A moment is brought to you by Explore Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com and plan your next Minnesota vacation today. You're reviewing the headwaters of the Mississippi River in Lake Itasca State Park in northwestern Minnesota. Itasca in Minnesota, oldest state park, established in 1891. Today, the park totals more than 32,000 acres and includes more than 10,000 lakes.
Now, have you been up there to
No,
the
I have
headwaters?
not. No, I have
See,
not.
I've been up there, and I've walked across the headwaters there, and took me, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes. I didn't want to slip and fall, and then my son at the time, who was about 6 years old, just walked across, like an elf. Yeah, it was a big deal. Here's Jose Morales, and he takes outside, ball one. Morales, Tolbert, and Revere to hit for the Twins here in the second. Morales getting his first U.S. start at first base, which is interesting because, for the longest time now, weeks, he's been the backup to Michael Kadire. They haven't had other players, certainly not Justin Morneau. For a while, Brendan Harris was considered a backup, but he wasn't here.
Well, that man right there, Ron Gardenhire, has some decisions to make. As that postseason roster is got to be set, once the season's over.
Right. Well, and, with what we've discussed, and we saw Morales in the role last night, if he can produce off the bench, the Twins are always going to be looking for somebody who can provide a pinch hit. And with Tomey anticipated to be in the lineup on a daily basis, Morales could fit that bill, a switch hitter who can pick up hits from both sides of the plate.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We talked about the Slowey and Baker. Who's going to be maybe that seventh guy out in that bullpen if Nick Blackburn is the fourth starter.
And there's a leadoff walk here in the second.
Yeah, Ron Coomer down in the camera well down by the dugout. Your thoughts on that? I mean, there's a lot of decisions to be made.
There's a lot of decisions and some major impact that some guys could have that maybe don't during the regular season. But when you're talking about a guy like Morales who gives Gardy unbelievable at bats off the bench, and then a guy like Tolbert here who is a guy who could pinch run for, obviously for Jimmy. So to me, these guys, you don't talk about them a lot, but these are going to be decisions that are really tough. The other thing, everybody knows how Gardy feels about Nicky Punto. And Nicky coming off, the hamstring. He looked good yesterday. We all saw him running around the field. So some tough decisions in a big week and a half for some of these younger players.
And this is their opportunity. Gardy's going to rest some guys to get some at-bats for Tolbert and Morales and Casilla. And all three of those guys were part of the roster last year in postseason.
1-1 to Tolbert. And a bouncer towards second. Charged by Valbuena. They'll get one, but not two. Valbuena did what he could. He moved up on the ball and tried to make it a quicker play, but they only got the force at second.
Oh, Tolbert brings a lot of speed with him right there. He kind of jammed himself a little bit to create that ground ball, but hustled down the line to stay out of a double play.
Tolbert was one of the guys playing at third base for the Twins last year, along with Brendan Harris in the playoffs. He's aboard at first with one out. Here's Ben Revere. Couple of hits Sunday after starting his major league career 0 for 8. Ball one. And then there's Revere, who among candidates as a pinch runner might be the fastest of the group. Maybe a step faster than Tolbert and Punto and maybe even Casilla. And I would imagine those are all things that a general manager and a manager and the coaching staff pondered. You get to the playoffs and that extra step. How many times have we seen it in postseason play, whether it's close play at first or a slide at home? That extra step can mean the difference between a win and a loss. Bill Smith, who took some time out late in the Chicago-Oakland game last night to pay us a visit. Vasco walked the leadoff batter, now falling behind Revere, 2-0. 3-0 with Repko on deck.
I don't think anybody anticipated the Twins to win this division as early as they did, Dick. I mean, look at Chicago. They've lost 8 straight now. I mean, they are just taking a dive. That's what surprised me.
A strike called, 3-1, and it just seems as if that first game in Chicago took a lot of starch out of the White Sox, winning that ball game and kind of putting them on their heels. And 3-1 to Revere. And ball 4, so a pair of walks putting runners at first and second.
Second walk of the inning for Carrasco.
An invitation to visit the official online shop of the Twins at twinsbaseball.com. You can browse the largest selection of official gear, get the latest apparel, probably playoff American League Central champion material available at the pro shops now at twinsbaseball.com as well. Get your gear at the official source, the twinsbaseball.com shop.
You know, through all this, and I mentioned last night, who I'm happy for is the coaching staff of Ron Gardenhire. You know, the trainers, Rick McWayne and Dave Prumer, you know, Perry Castellano, those type of guys that put in so much time, and they're not paid the salaries of the players. So you know, this is all bonus to them. And I'll tell you what, they work their tail end off to help the Twins win the division. There's Rich Dalmasic.
Here's Jason Repko with the tying run at second. The Twins do have some speed on the bases now with Tolbert and Revere. Repko takes ball 1. The focus now for the Twins away from the game they're playing in shifts from the West Coast to the East Coast, where the Rays and Yankees, who will be almost certainly the playoff opponent, one of them will be for the Twins in the first round. Repko takes a strike, 1-1. Now the Twins know that they're in, and they'll face either Tampa Bay or New York in the first round. And depending on how this series plays out in New York, that might go a long way toward determining the Twins' opponent. Came inside, got a swing and a miss, 1-2.
Yeah, if you ask the players, though, they say they don't care who they play. You know, they really don't, whether it be the Yankees or the Rays. I think a lot of baseball people think that both those ball clubs will be in round 2. Well, the Twins want they want that opportunity to show these so-called baseball experts that they're wrong.
Well, with a slow breaking ball, Repko strikes out, similar to the strikeout that he got with Kubel in the first inning.
Well, today's Circle Me sections are section 308 and 105, and you are hereby circled. And if you'd like to be circled or with your sign, go to foxsportsnorth.com and click on the Circle Me Burt tab and tell us why your sign should be circled for a chance to spend an inning up in the booth with us. The better the sign, the more likely you'll be circled, of course. And the winning section will be announced the morning before each game on foxsportsnorth.com and KFAN.com.
Revere took off from first. We thought the double steal was on. Now he's in the rundown. And he is tagged out. So somebody made a mistake. It might have been Revere. Might have been Tolbert for not taking off on the double steal. The inning is over. Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. By Lincoln Mercury. Visit your local Lincoln Mercury dealer or go to experiencelm.com. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible. A mistake on the bases ends the second inning.
Well, Rivera taking off right there. Now, I don't know if maybe a double steal was put on, but Rivera caught in this rundown right here, and Tolbert ends up going to third, and Rivera tagged out for the final out. Jerry White talking to Rivera right there, and Tolbert not really looked like he was going to try to go to third, so a missed sign maybe by Ben Rivera.
Given the look that Jerry White was giving him in the discussion, I would guess that the Revere took off when no play was on. 2 strikes quickly here to Shin-Soo Choo. Hit a fly ball to left his first time up.
Well, just a rookie mistake right there, and I'm sure that they'll talk to him more about that as he comes in off the field.
Another fly to left, and Revere tracking it. And he makes the catch, 1 away. You can ask a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Mike Dorn from Seattle. Hello, Seattle. How often, if ever, do players change the size of their bat?
That's a good question.
Maybe lighten it up against a premier fastball pitcher.
That's a very good question. Now, myself, when I was a hitter, I always it didn't matter to me because I had a bunning bat.
Right.
But Ron Coomer, throughout the season, did you ever change as far as the weight of your bats?
I did, but first of all, when were you ever a hitter?
I was a hitter long before you were.
That's
my man.
Probably true. Well, what most guys do is they'll start out with the weight of a bat, and I'll tell you, I used a 34.5-inch bat and a 33-ounce bat when I started the season, and about, usually in August, things you get a little more tired, a little slower, I would drop down 1 ounce in the bat. The big key about changing bats is never changing the length of your bat, because it changes your plate coverage. The ounce is the one thing guys will do.
Okay, now in batting practice, Ron, did you use a heavier bat in batting practice compared to game?
I did not, but some guys did. I even watched Edgar Martinez, who was one of the best right-handed hitters through the 90s. He would hit with the donut on his bat during batting practice. Bert, I just wasn't that good to be able to do something like that.
Well,
but some guys do use a heavier bat in BP. I always like to have the same feel that I was going into the game with my BP bat.
You know what, as a player, I used to go out and watch guys take batting practice from the opposing teams, and Edgar Martinez still, to me, was one of the best, Ron, as far as, his preparation on what he tried to accomplish in the batting cage.
Well, he was phenomenal, as you guys both know, in watching him all those years. He was the one guy for me, because we were built similar, that when we went into Seattle or Seattle came here, I would watch what he did at home plate, his approach, how he went at balls, hitting the other way, because he was so good at that. To me, that's what major league hitters do, is they make sure that they're watching guys that are hitting that are their style, who are stars in the league.
Save with Morales playing his first game at first base, and he tried to steal an out at first base by pulling his foot. It's a fielder's choice, 2 away in the inning.
Yeah, Duncan hitting this ball right off the end of the bat created some spin. Blackburn right back at him. The ball kind of hit his glove and then bounced out. Blackie does get the force out at second, and the relay throw. See Morales, Duncan beating it out. And just to clarify one thing on the bat situation and myself, the word hitter was never next to my name. More swinger.
Okay. All right.
And not just on the field, not off the field. Swinger.
Butera tries to block it. It kicks toward the dugout, and Duncan
Swinger.
will. Second.
Yeah.
Hey,
you were a hitter. I was a swinger.
Hey, Ron, it just seems like even since you played, and it wasn't that long ago, but bats are getting lighter and lighter. Not that long ago, Twins had a big guy by the name of Brian Buchanan, and he was built like he could swing a telephone pole up there, and he just swung a 31-ounce bat.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, even in talking with Harmon and Tony and some of the guys, Rod, to me, I think if you're a big guy, you should swing a bigger bat, and it just helps. You make contact with the ball goes a little farther. I know Justin Morneau, we've talked about it, he swings a nice big bat, and he always says, this is a man's bat. the big Canadian. So to me, as I got older in the game, I went with that theory. I started using a much heavier bat than I did when I was a younger player, and I think some of that has to do with just confidence, Dick.
1-1.
Confidence in the quickness of your hands, is that what it is?
Correct. It's just the belief that you're going to put the barrel of the bat on the ball, and you kind of know what you're doing up at home plate, as opposed to sometimes for the young guys maybe just guessing a little.
Hey, and while we got you, and I hope we can get this in before the third out here, why do batters cup the ends of their bats? It seems to me you're taking some mass away from the business end of the bat.
Well, what that does sometimes, Dick, is it balances out the bat a little more, especially for guys who like a real heavy bat on the end, or a big barreled bat like a C243, which is a big barreled bat. You cup out the end, and it gives you just a little more balance in your bat. So that's why. And if you're hitting it right off the end like Bert would like you to do, you're not going to do much good anyway.
Well, with these ash bats that are, they're ash, and then these maple bats that are out there now, it just seems like a lot of the, you want all the weight at the barrel of your bat, but the handles are thinner. Do you find that too?
They are, especially for certain guys will shave down their handle. We've all seen this. I never did it. I like to build up my handle, but some guys will shave down the handle of their bat and really have, an unbalanced bat. I like my bat to be a little more balanced than that, but, it just depends. If you have a big weight or a big heavy bat on the end and you shave it down, that's where you're seeing so many of these breaks.
2-2 the count to Jason Nix with a runner at second and 2 down. And now 3-2.
Yeah, not your typical Nick Blackburn outing that we have seen over the first 5 starts. He's really struggling here with his control. A lot of pitches, trying to get the final out here in the 3rd inning. This will be pitch number 54.
And a tapper left side, Valencia waits on the second hop and fires across to Andy.
Nice play.
A walk does no damage. Still 1-0 Cleveland.
In the Minnesota Lottery winner's circle at Target Field with Judd and Angie from Stillwater, we have $100 worth of scratch-off lottery tickets, and they have circled you guys, Dick and Bert. A great drawing. You guys are wearing your earmuffs here while your headsets for TV in the picture. Drawn by their son, Joel. I think this is a pretty good depiction of Dick and Bert.
Very, very good. And Joel is a very good artist, so we're very proud of him.
Might Joel be watching right now?
Well, we hope he is. We're not sure, but we hope he is.
We actually look young there.
Well, I was just going to ask Dick and Bert, we like it. What do you guys think of your likenesses?
I like it.
I'm flattered.
Thank you very much. And you are hereby circled.
Took the gray out. I like that. Here's Drew Butera, who's at the plate when the Twins made a mistake on the bases. Strike one. Butera a couple of hits last night, and then he was lifted for a pinch hitter, and it was Jose Morales that lifted an awfully big sacrifice fly to get the game tied up. Butera hit by a pitch around the hands, and the Twins will get the leadoff man on again here.
Well, Carrasco hitting his first major league batter this year in his 5th start. Tried to run that fastball in, and Butera getting hit on that right forearm.
And that'll bring up Denard Span. Span with a pop up to third his first time up.
Dave Prumer going out and looking at the right arm of Drew Butera. Don't know if that got that funny bone or it looked like he hit him right on the forearm.
It's his right hand, of course, his throwing hand, and that'll be a concern, and he says that he's okay. So the Twins, who got a leadoff walk but didn't score in the second, now get a leadoff hit batter in the third. Twins with just one hit. Casillas triple off the fence in right center field. But now a couple of walks, a hit batter. Trying to get the game tied up here in the third. Span drops down a bunt. Oh, a close play, and a look from up here that Span had beaten it out.
Well, Greg Gibson, the first base umpire, tried to get in position to watch Span and a throw come at the same time. The catcher Jimenez jumped out from behind the mound, called off the pitcher right here, and then made a quick throw. Boy, very close.
Foxball show us. Safe. Nevertheless, Span will get credit for his sacrifice. Ball one to Casilla. It was Casilla who hooked the triple to the gap in right center field. With one out in the first, but then Carrasco struck out Kubel and got Valencia to keep the Twins from scoring. Down and away a ball. So with the Gray out, and now you've reversed it because we're in sitting opposite than how the thing was drawn. That's pretty good.
Not bad. Made us look good.
That's not easy to do. That's the sign of a really good artist. 2-1 to Casilla. Can you draw? I mean, I know we've talked about it when you've circled people, and sometimes when you circle them, the ends meet. Sometimes they don't. That's not a good sign if you want to be an artist.
I'm not an artist. No, I no. Stick people. That's what I do.
Casilla to center. And Butera setting up for a tag. He'll try to advance to third and reach. So he's there now with 2 away, and that'll bring up Kubel.
How about yourself?
Oh, I'm terrible at it. Even like the paint by number things that I had as a kid.
You went outside the lines?
I went outside the lines.
Now, I do like the color. I have grandkids, so you sit down and color with them.
Now, who enjoys it more, you or the grandkids?
I'm sorry?
Who enjoys it more, coloring, you or the grandkids?
I'm hoping the grandkids, but I do have a lot of fun.
Here's Kubel. Carrasco got a big strikeout in the first inning when Kubel came up.
Marnie actually brought the sign up to the booth.
Oh, this is nice.
Now you'd want a closer look at what you would look like if you didn't have gray in your hair.
Very nice. Now I'm assuming that's me without the facial hair, right? And that's Bert?
That's a good guess. Yeah.
Very good guess, Dick.
The only one that's missing is Marnie.
You're right here. You're definitely the prettiest in that picture right there. That's very nice. Well, we will be more than happy to sign it for him and then really ruin it for him.
I asked them about their son Joel that drew it. I said, "Oh, how old is Joel?" I'm thinking, "Oh, he's 12, 15. He's 47." Young Joel. They said he's a starving artist. He's 47 years old. He sketched this out this morning.
Kubel, I think, checked his swing close with Rafton getting ahead of Kubel again. 2 strikes. And now it's 1-2. Good block by Jimenez.
Well, Carrasco, I mentioned before, he and Nick Blackburn hooked up in Cleveland, and 7 1/3 innings. He allowed the Twins only 5 hits with 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. Kubel would like to get a 2-out hit right here.
Jam shot, a roller to the shortstop. And a good play by Drew Sutton to throw out Kubel and leave another runner at third base. Let us know who you think will be the Arby's value player of the game. Text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234-234. And Danny Valencia getting half the votes so far. We'll keep tabulating the votes and give you the results in the Twins postgame show. Matt Laporta hitting for the Indians here in the 4th inning. He'll be followed by Luis Valbuena and Chris Jimenez.
Yeah, Blackburn would like to have a 1-2-3 inning right here. 54 pitches, 31 strikes. And Blackie's been able to get strike 1 on 8 of the 14 batters he's faced so far.
An inning or so ago here in the ballpark, they showed highlights of the '87 Twins, in particular the last bit of the regular season and into the playoffs. Things that happened during the World Championship year. We talked a little bit about this before the game today. Here's a fly to right. Repko's got a long run. Second baseman Tolbert gives way to Repko, 1 away.
Good communication right there between Tolbert and Repko out and right.
You guys clinched on a Monday in Arlington, Texas. Didn't win the rest of the way. Your eventual playoff opponent, the Detroit Tigers, had to play through to the end of the season. Had to beat the Blue Jays, I think it was in Toronto, at the end of the regular season to advance into the playoffs. And then, of course, Detroit heavily favored. But of what value was it for your team in that example to wrap things up early and set things up for the playoffs?
It helped a little bit. I mean, Frank Viola was starting game 1. I knew I was starting game 2, and then Les Straker game 3. That was pretty much it. We went with that 3-man rotation, and it didn't matter who we played. We had a lot of confidence, and we knew we were going to score a lot of runs. What really helped us is, we did score a lot of runs early in those ball games, and helped Frankie and I and Lester kind of just worry about just getting some quick outs, hopefully.
2-1. And a fly to center. Span retreats a little bit. Out number 2. Well, going back to 2006, the Twins won the division the last game of the year. Of course, they were in as a wild card entrant that year and ended up winning the division about an hour after their regular season ended. A couple of games, 163, and now 11 games counting today before the second season started.
Well, you think, I mean, if you think about that game that a couple years ago in Chicago under Ron Gardenhire, I mean, it should have been played in Minnesota.
Right.
The Twins lost that heartbreaker 1-0. Nick Blackburn pitched a great game. Tomey hit the deciding home run. But, if that had gone the Twins' way, Gardy would have won 7 of 9 championships as a manager. I mean, 6 of 9 is great, what he's been able to accomplish. But, he gives credit to his coaching staff. He gives credit to, the players. But he's the captain of the ship. He should get a lot of the credit, winning his 800th Major League game last night.
2 strikes to the number 9 batter, Chris Jimenez. Jimenez tried to drop down a bunt his first time up. Blackburn spun him through, got the force out at third. Just off the plate, 2-2.
And it didn't matter who we played in the series either. It was either the Cardinals or the Giants, and the Cardinals ended up beating the Giants in '87.
3-2.
And I'm sure the same attitude was in 1991 with the team that the Twins had. They didn't care who they played in postseason. They were gelling as a ball club. And even though we lost the last 6 games of the '87 season, Tom Kelly had a chance to rest a lot of guys.
One hopper hit to Casilla, sets and fires Morales.
There's a better inning.
And a 1-2-3-4. '91, the special relationship between the Minnesota Twins and their fans, and that was in evidence again last night.
Jim told me right there, here's a 40-year-old guy acting like a kid. Come on.
Shame on him.
Yeah, really. John Roush, letting the fans get an experience of getting doused. And even Ron Gardenhire coming out. And again, it kind of all started, I think, Dick, in '87 when we clinched the division, the American League pennant,
in Detroit,
to go to the World Series. When we came back that night at the Metrodome, 55,000 people waiting for us at 11 o'clock at night. I think it all started right there. Of course, at the end of the '87 series season, clinching it, the fans came out. But think about it. I mean, 55,000 people. There was no guarantee we were going to win the World Series, but my goodness, were they our 10th player on the field. Unbelievable.
On a Monday night, a work night, a school night, all of that. And last night's celebration will be on the web following
This is a school day, isn't it?
It is, yes. Yeah. Danny Valencia leading off the bottom of the 4th. Hit a fly ball to right his first time up. Bouncer toward the hole. Fielded on the second hop by Hicks. And Valencia retired, 1 away. casino story of the game so far. Twins haven't done much offensively.
Now, 1-0 ball game. The Indians scored off of Blackburn in the first inning, an RBI single up the middle by Shelley Duncan. That's pretty been much it. That's it so far in this ball game as far as the scoring. Blackburn settled down nicely.
There's so much focus now on home field advantage. It looks like the Twins will have it in the first round. They're fighting for it in the second round. Won't have it if they get to the World Series. But it was a different world back then in 1987 and 91. They simply went alternately between the East and the West and American and National Leagues. And in both 87 and 91, it was the perfect storm where the American League West champion would have the advantage in both the only round of the playoffs and the World Series. So the Twins got into the playoffs in 87, and not on merit. You didn't win as many games as the Detroit Tigers, but you had home field advantage because it was the American League West's turn.
Right, but do you think this year, they're talking about home field advantage, but say if the season were to end today, the Twins would play the Rays here. Okay, the Texas Rangers would play the Yankees. What if Texas upsets the Yankees?
Well, then the Twins would have the advantage in the second round. Right. 2 down here in the fourth. Twins still have the one hit. AT&T trivia.
Now, school is in session, but your son Eric is here.
Yes.
And maybe he can help us with this.
Who was the winning pitcher for the Twins in their one-game playoff versus Detroit last year? It's a very good trivia question. I'll bet you most fans don't know that. I know that.
I believe he's pitching over in Japan now.
Yep. 1-0 to Matt Tolbert. Number back to the mound. First 1-2-3 inning for Carrasco. Here at Target Field, Twins American League Central champs. That was decided last night. Ron Coomer, Marty Gellner, Dick Bramer, and Bert Bluntloven here with the final game of the homestand. And we mentioned the possibility, I think, a week or so ago after the Twins had taken care of business in Chicago. It was possible, not likely, but possible, the Twins could clinch the division in the next homestand. And lo and behold, they did just that last night. Twins lost a couple games to the Oakland A's, but then so did the Chicago White Sox. White Sox haven't won since the Twins showed up in Chicago.
Right, losing 8 straight.
Ground ball hit right at the second baseman. Tolbert for the first out. Brantley retired. One away here in the fifth. And that'll bring up Drew Sutton. Off day tomorrow for the Twins, and then they hit the road. They'll take on the Tigers. Pretty tough at Comerica Park. The Twins have to face Justin Verlander right away on Friday. And then they play 3 games in Kansas City, and then they come home for 4 against Toronto. Strike on the outside corner to Drew Sutton. Nice pickup by Morales. Blackburn in the bag, 2 down. So the converted first baseman with a nice backhanded play for out number 2.
Very nice play by Morales. Ball brings him down, and nice little lead over to Blackburn for the little 3-1 put out.
That'll bring up Shin Soo Choo. A couple innings ago, I started something, wasn't able to finish. I talked about Carl Pavano and something he said last night. He said, you know, these games are still very important. It's nice to have time off. He does it again. And a 3-up, 3-down fifth with Jose Morales turning in a couple of great plays at first base. Stay tuned for today's post-game show. You can watch the Twins' favorite replay moment voted on by you, the fans. Your choices were the opening day at Target Field, highlighted by Jason Kubel's home run, or Jim Comey's walk-off blast against the White Sox. And we'll find out today, I guess. Well, how many times you see a guy makes 2 outstanding defensive plays, and he'll hit 8th this inning?
Yep. 1 every 9 times.
Ben Revere will lead things off. Bunts it a mile in the air in foul ground, and Revere is bunted, out quickly on a bunt attempt.
All right, Vicky, you got to show this sign right here. Vicky and Janelle up. Vicky, you were here on the Legends game. I'm glad you put in your email that it wasn't the Old Timers game, but so you came back, and happy birthday to you. Happy 50th for the also the Twins' 50th anniversary. So enjoy your inning up here, and thank you for your email, and enjoy the inning.
1 gone. Here's Jason Repko. Went down swinging his first time up.
That was Vicky Gleason from Owatonna, along with her friend Janelle from Austin, Minnesota.
Repko takes a strike. And now he takes a ball. The Twins have 1 hit. They've had a couple of scoring threats. Garcia with a 1-out triple in the first didn't score. Then Carrasco walked a couple of guys in the second that didn't score. hit batter to the leadoff man Butera, and the Twins worked him around to third base where he was left.
I mentioned last year Carrasco came up at a September call-up, made 5 starts, 0-4, very high ERA. You know, Dunsing did that last year. He's kind of put into the rotation late. He pitched very well, though, not the 0-4 with a high ERA. But you know what? You get young guys like that, you give them an opportunity to get their feet wet like he did last year. He came up this year, had a pretty good year in the minor leagues, and now he's had 5 very good starts. I mean, he came into this ball game 1-0, winning his first major league game in his last start in Kansas City, 11-4. But 1-0, 2.70 ERA in his first 4 starts. So it's an audition time, like it was for Gomez the other night, and here this afternoon for the young 23-year-old from Venezuela.
3-2 to Repko. And he takes ball 4. Almost stuck that elbow into the pitch. Third walk taken by the Twins. I'm going to try one more time to bring this up, only because I want your reaction to it. Carl Pavano said, you know, we've got to be careful here. Time off is nice, but we still have to play these games with intensity. So how do you then strike the balance as a manager between giving some guys some time off and placing importance on picking up wins and not losing a team's edge?
Well, I think, you know, with the off day tomorrow is a great time for guys like Kadire and some other players, and Repko got a great jump right there. He steals a base, his 3rd of the year, and he gets in the scoring position.
Terra was nearly hit by a pitch again.
A good jump right there. Repko sliding feet first into second base and then popping up.
So the tying run at second, 1 out, and Butera, who was hit by a pitch his first time up.
You know, guys like Delman Young and Kadire and J.J. Hardy, who aren't in the ball game today, along with Orlando Hudson, you know, they need with the off day tomorrow, that's 2 days off. And don't be surprised come, you know, in Detroit that they're probably out there every day.
Another runner at third with 2 out. The Twins Community Fund commissioned local artist Terry Fogarty to create a print celebrating Target Field, and this work is now available online. You can go to twinsbaseball.com and check out the Fogarty print called Twins Territory and purchase it today. Proceeds will work to fund all the great programs of the Twins Community Fund.
Well, absolutely beautiful. Wow.
So a runner at third, the tying runner at third with 2 outs, and here's Denard Span. To right field. Chu going back. Leaps and makes a catch on the warning track. So the Twins again stymied, trying to tie the game up, with Chu turning in a great fielding play to end the 5th.
On Thursday, next game in Detroit Friday evening. Cold front will pass through the area. Gusty winds at first pitch. Temperature 73, turning cooler throughout the evening. Our coverage starts at 5:30.
I always wanted to do that just once.
I think you should.
I wanted to do the weather once. I'd be terrible at it, but give me one shot at it. Some guys want to be in movies. I just want to do the weather one time. Travis Hafner leading off the sixth. He'll be followed by Shelley Duncan and Jason Nix. To stand in front of the weather map. Now there's no map behind you. Here's a ground ball to second.
There isn't?
No, you got like a green screen and they put whatever they want back there. And then you point at it, you know, with your fingers and you show where the cold front is. And you talk about this, you know, cold front that's coming out of the Rocky Mountains and it's going to hit Minnesota and the locusts are going to come right behind that.
Well, you have a 50-50 chance of being right, too, you know. Could rain, could not.
But whatever, go outside and enjoy the day. That's what I tell everybody. Get some fresh air.
Vitamin D.
You get that from the sun, right?
Yes, you do.
Shelley Duncan will hit here with one gone quickly in the sixth.
Yeah, Blackburn settling down. He's retired 9 straight.
A high fly to short left. Revere is out there. Making the catch out, number 2. You can get all your high school football action with Fox Sports Prep Zone. You can log on to foxsportsnorth.com, click on the Prep Zone link, choose to watch one of 4 high school football games live each week. Log on Friday and watch this week's featured games: St. Michael Albertville against Rogers, Cretin-Derham Hall against Eastridge, Totino Grace against Matamidi, and Blaine versus Centennial.
Now, Anthony LaPanta helps out with Totino Grace, and I understand they're off to a very good start.
Yeah.
And that surprises me.
Center.
Anthony helping out.
A 5-pitch, 1-2-3, 6th inning for Nick Blackburn.
He's retired 11 straight Indians.
Already in the Coors Light 6th inning in the Coors Light freeze can.
Well, in the 5th inning, Jose Morales, who had never played first base in the United States, makes a couple very nice plays. Tim Wagner came in between innings and said, see, catchers are the best athletes. I said, yeah, right.
Well, Morales, a couple of nice plays, and that's the Frostproof Coors Light freeze can for this afternoon. Alexi Casilla leading off the 6th. This game picking up some pace here. And one of the reasons the Twins have just one hit. It was Casilla's triple with 1 out in the first. Shows bunt, takes a ball. Hey, before we get too far along, sad news in the newspaper today. Sportscaster in the Twin Cities for a long, long time, Hal Scott, whose brother Ray was a Twins broadcaster in the 60s. He passed away, and Hal mentored a lot of the sportscasters in the Twin Cities area. And we're sad to hear the news and pass our very best wishes to the Scott family.
Yeah, our condolences to the family.
Had a chance to know Ray for several years as he was finishing his great broadcasting career, and two icons in the broadcasting circles in the Twin Cities, both from the same family. 2-0 to Casilla. He'll be followed by Jason Kubel and Danny Valencia. 3-0, and Carrasco, not that he's struggled here, but at times he looks like he wants to be his own worst enemy.
He has walked 3 in the ball game so far, but just has allowed that one hit. He did hit Drew Butera in the 3rd inning with a pitch.
A strike call. Twins have had 3 runners as far as 3rd base, and so far have yet to get a run in. And flip foul, 3-2.
Going back to Pavano, since he's going to, we're talking about that earlier. Yeah, I think, the biggest thing, Dick, I think is, what they're doing with Pavano. They're pushing him back 2 or 3 days. So he's going to start that second game in that Detroit series on Saturday. When you get into a routine, you want to be able to at least get out there, especially as a pitcher, on the 5th or 6th day. And Pavano, I think that'll be his 8th day between starts. But you do have time to set up the rotation. Right now it looks like Liriano, Pavano, Dunsing, and right now Blackburn.
3-2 to Casilla. He cracks one to right. Alexi Casilla with the only 2 hits and really the only 2 well-hit balls. This Span hit a pretty good ball to end the 5th inning. Leadoff man's on again. Time for the Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet.
Yeah, Carrasco at 95 with good movement. We've seen a lot of good sinkers from Carrasco. And Nick Blackburn has retired 11 straight, clocked as high as 93. Carrasco didn't want to walk him right there, challenged him, and Casilla ends up getting his 2nd hit.
And Casilla dives back. For whatever reason, Kubel hasn't had a good swing yet against Carrasco. Carrasco struck him out with Casilla at 3rd and 1 out in the 1st. And then Kubel fell behind quickly 0-2, ended up tapping out to the shortstop Sutton to end the 3rd. High fastball and a swing and a foul. Have some speed to work with, but that's been the case when Repko's been on base, when Revere was on base, when Tolbert was on base. Up and away. 1-1. Shuffles back to the bag.
Casilla with 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts. Repko stole a base last inning. Twins with 61 stolen bases on the year. They've been caught 27 times. Good changeup right there.
Wow, Kubel. Not certain that was a strike. 1-2.
Good pitch.
Between the batter's boxes, wasn't it?
That's right.
1-2 to Kubel. Seems like he spent every pitch of his at-bats today behind with 2 strikes. And he takes a call, 3rd strike, 1 away.
Kubel striking out for the 2nd time, and Carrasco picking up his 3rd strikeout of the ball game.
Speed pitch. And now Valencia with a fly ball to right, the ground ball to 3rd. tonight's lineup to be sure, but here's Valencia of all people hitting cleanup today.
Well, do what cleanup hitters are supposed to do. Hit a 2-run home run.
Valencia takes a strike on the inside corner. Valencia got some extra base pop in his bat, which might keep the Twins from sending Casilla here.
You know, my son Todd just texted me. It was 33 years ago today that I pitched a no-hitter in Anaheim.
Really?
Yeah, and he's taking my grandson, who was celebrating his 7th birthday, out to Anaheim Stadium today.
Well, how do you know that's not our, this day in Twins history? Even though you weren't pitching for the Twins, maybe that's why it's not going to be. 1-1 to Valencia. Now, I bet that was the first thing that popped into your brain this morning when you woke up. It was 33 years ago today.
No, you text me. I didn't know. That's why you have kids. I guess they remind you.
Yeah. And I'm guessing
only $5.
I'm guessing they're going to be doing a lot more of that as we move forward here.
Yes, they will. Your name is?
You've already had breakfast, Dad. 1-1. See, it takes off, swing and a miss. Jimenez's throw nowhere near the target nor in time. And the Twins get Casilla and his speed into scoring position.
Good pitch to run on, too, because it was a breaking ball that Valencia ended up swinging through. And, Jimenez does not have the arm that Lou Marson has that caught the first 2 ball games here. Casilla does get into scoring position with his 6th stolen base. And the 2nd stolen base for the Twins here this afternoon.
1-2 to Valencia. Fastball off the plate evens the count. Valencia with 35 runs batted in and a little more than 255 at bats. 5 home runs, but also 17 doubles.
That's what you want to do as a pitcher right there. The second baseman, Valbuena, came over and he stepped off. You don't have to throw to second. Trying to keep Casilla close.
Swing and a miss with a breaking pitch and a couple of strikeouts in a key spot here in the 6th. Now everybody likes to have the gear that the Twins wore in the clubhouse last night, the T-shirts and the caps and other items. Well, you can get them at the Majestic Clubhouse store here at Target Field, which is open now. Even if you don't have a ticket, you can get into the store and purchase stuff, and they're going to stay open all night long until 8 tomorrow night.
Wow.
They expect a big rush and crush for Twins gear now that the Twins are Central champs. Foul back off the bat of Morales. He walked in the 2nd, hit a fly ball to left in the 4th. And the Twins are simply asking for somebody here this afternoon to do what they did regularly 2 nights ago, and that is get a 2-out hit. All 9 runs the other night were scored with 2-out hits. And the Twins have been crying for one here this afternoon. 1 strike to Morales. That's blasted to right center field. Brantley can't get it. There's your 2-out hit. There's your tie game. And Morales with a double. And the Twins have evened it up. having himself a pretty good 6th inning here.
Yeah, Morales' first extra base hit since he's come up to the Twins. Got a high fastball and hits it over the head of Brantley out in center field. He picks up the game-winning or game-tying RBI right now with the double. As Casilla with the stolen base scores from second base.
You know, Morales started a couple of nights ago behind the plate. Now here at first. We might see more of that in the next week and a half. More playing time for Morales to see if they can get his bat going. If he's going to make the postseason roster as a pinch hitter, you don't want somebody, you know, going into the situation like that where they haven't picked up any at bats. 1-0 to Tolbert. That's fouled. You know, when the Twins, when the pennant race was reaching a critical juncture, and the middle infielders were getting banged up, and it was, you know, the likes of Tolbert and Casilla that really stepped up. Tolbert with, you know, a big ball game, a couple of triples in a ball game, and a nationally televised game. And that has been so nice to see. Everybody in the 40-man roster has been given a chance to produce. This one hooked into the corner. Tolbert produces, and the Twins take the lead on back-to-back doubles here in the 6th.
Tolbert with his 4th double of the year. Carrasco had pitched 14 shutout innings against the Twins, 7 1/3 in Cleveland, and 5 2/3 coming into these last 2 batters. And it's back-to-back doubles that give the Twins a 2-1 lead. So Tolbert, with that double, picks up his 18th RBI of the year.
And now Ben Revere will try to follow suit. Revere with 1 run batted in as a big leaguer. Fastball sails outside. No activity in the Cleveland bullpen, although a couple of guys are stretching out there. Carrasco kind of had it in cruise control here going into the 6th inning. And then it was Casilla, another role player this year, getting the rally started with a leadoff single. Another base hit. Another Twins run. And look who's gotten the hits here in this 6th inning. Casilla, Morales, Tolbert, and Revere.
Well, the Twins are 91-60, not because of just the key players. It's the guys, you know, like Tolbert and, you know, Casilla, and here Ben Revere getting an RBI, his 2nd major league RBI, driven in. So the Twins take a 3-1 lead as Tolbert scores the 3rd run of the inning.
And now Repko. See if the Twins send Revere here. I think they'd like to get him freewheeling on the bases here a little bit. And the Indians thinking the same thing as they pitch out. You'd like Revere, if he's going to be on a playoff roster, to pick up a stolen base or 2, or at least show that he can do that. First a pitch out, now a throw over.
We'll see if Jimenez uses only one sign. Little pinky, maybe another throw over or a fastball away. It's a fastball away.
Backhanded, knocked down. It'll be another hit. Nick's got a glove on it. That's it. And now Repko delivers a hit. So the point could be made that Casilla, Morales, Tolbert, Revere, and Repko would all be on the bench under different circumstances, and they all come through with a hit here in the 6th.
Well, Carrasco, Tim Belcher's going to go out and talk to his young right-hander right here, but starting to lead some pitches up. And again, a lot of these hitters have not seen Carrasco. And now he's starting to leave some pitches up, and the Twins taking advantage of it. So Repko picks up a base hit. Runners at first and second, still 2 outs.
Quick trip to the mound for Tim Belcher. The Twins have put 3 up on the board with 4 straight 2-out hits.
Aaron Laffey just called up and down this year with the Indians, starting to loosen up. I wanted to show Jimenez on that sign because, again, when Joe Mauer drew Butera catch with a runner at first base, remember Casillas stole on a breaking ball?
Right.
You know, I mean, if you look in as a base runner, which a lot of runners at first do, and you see the number 2 or a wiggle, you're going to run, and that's maybe what Casillas saw.
Speed pitch tapped over the bag, and that finally is the 3rd out. But the Twins string together 4 2-out hits, 5 hits in all in the inning, and 3 runs up on the board. Indians got another first inning run in this game, and it was Shelley Duncan's 2-out single that scored Drew Sutton, and that was the it. Until the Twins hit the sixth.
You know, when Nick Blackburn settled down, he's retired 11 straight and waited for the offense to pick him up some runs, and Casillas scores on the Morales double, then Hobart an RBI double, then Ben Revere an RBI single. Repko added another hit. So a very good bottom of the 6th inning for the Twins. 5 hits, 3 runs to take a 3-1 lead.
And now Nick Blackburn will pitch to the bottom 3rd of the Cleveland lineup here in the 7th inning. And he has pitched very well as of late. He has not given up a hit since Brantley's hit with the 1 out in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, the first 3 innings, Blackburn needed 54 pitches. Over the last 3 innings, he's used only 22 pitches to get 9 outs.
Foul back. One of the things that I suspect will happen here, the starting pitcher pretty much going to have to have a no-hitter going to have a shot at a complete game. Twins have plenty of relief pitchers. The last thing the Twins want anybody to do out of the starting rotation is extend themselves. Now, they might get 90 to 100 pitches every time out, but I don't think anybody's going to go much over 100 pitches unless they've got some history to make.
Well, they're going to do the pitch count, you know, at the 90 to 100, somewhere in there, like you mentioned, and that's what we did in '87. You know, once we clinched it, made sure, Tom Kelly made sure, and Dick Such made sure that we got our work in. You don't want to take, say here you're only pitching 3 innings.
Right.
You know, you want to keep the stamina up and the endurance.
1-2 to Laporta. Just off the corner. Just missed it. 2-2.
And you saw Slowey and Baker, and those are the 2 guys that might be that 7th man in the bullpen. One of those guys. So, you know, that's going to have an opportunity for one of these guys to maybe get some innings in.
Bouncer to short. Casilla sets over to Morales, who's played flawlessly at first base. He's made a couple of nice fielding plays on ground balls, and all the time he spent over there during batting practice and taking some extra ground balls has paid off okay.
I remember the first couple innings, Blackburn wasn't getting any ground ball outs. Now all of a sudden, 11 ground ball outs, 6 fly ball outs for Blackburn. They go along with his 2 strikeouts. So he struggled a little bit early, but then found the sinker, and now he's getting ground ball outs.
Luis Valbuena will hit. That's one of the 5 Cleveland singles.
Yeah, when I say struggled early, it's just getting the ball up. Now he's keeping the ball down better, which for Nick Blackburn is outs by the ground ball.
Hey, all these extra days that the Twin starters are getting, we've talked about it before, wouldn't that maybe impact a sinker baller more than anybody else?
Definitely. You know, a guy like a Nick Blackburn, you know, because, you know, Blackburn, you don't want to go into the ball game too strong. There's another ground ball out.
And a weak roller to Tolbert for out number 2.
When you're too strong as a starter, your fastball has a tendency to stay up in the strike zone. When you're a sinker baller like Nick Blackburn, you know, as the game goes on, the ball's going to, because your arm's not as strong, it's going to have more sink to it.
Nick Blackburn and the Twins pitchers doing their part for the reforestation of Minnesota. Twins have teamed up with the Minnesota DNR to turn broken lumber into new trees. Every time this season a Twins pitcher breaks an opponent's bat, 100 new trees will be planted in Minnesota state parks and trails. The Twins support the state parks. You can too. Learn more at www.mndnr.gov.
Well, my wife Gail's still out there digging holes somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, we did that promotion for him, and we planted a tree.
Just make sure she doesn't dig one 6 foot deep, okay?
Maybe that's why she's still digging.
Here's Jim in that. Swing and a miss. Big swing and a miss. 2-1. I always have gotten this year kind of a gloomy feeling about now, just because it's the last game of a homestand. I don't want to speak for you. You do a pretty good job of that yourself. But this has been an absolute joy to come to this ballpark for a nice long homestand. Blackburn kicks it, picks it up, fires to first.
Take that, John Roush.
1, 2, 3. 3 ground ball outs in the 7th. Stay tuned for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Medica. Brought to you by Medica. Cloudy afternoon here, and Nick Blackburn with a kick save and a beauty.
Well, remember in last night's ball game, John Roush had a ball come up the middle, and he tried to stick that foot out. Here, Blackburn just sticking that back foot out, and the ball hitting off his calf area, and gets the out at first. So 14 consecutive straight outs for Nick Blackburn.
And Nick Blackburn with 89 pitches thrown. He might be done for the day. And in position to set some Twins history here now that the Twins have the lead. Just a couple of times have they had 5 pitchers in double digits with wins. This will be the first time in Twins history they've had 6 different pitchers with 10 or more wins.
Well, let's hope he can pick up his 10th win and get that record to 10-10. And Blackburn, another quality start.
Aaron Laffey will pitch to Denard Span with the Twins up a couple of runs here. Anyway, I was saying before how much fun it's been to come here in this ballpark and experience all of this for the first time. The fans feel the same way. I guess I've always just considered us to be fans. We just maybe get a better seat than some people. Bounced to second, Span retired. But I always get kind of sad when the homestands come to an end because this is such a wonderful place to watch this wonderful game.
Again, congratulations to the Twins, to the city for building such a beautiful field.
Hannibal County, yeah. 1 down in the 7th. Here's Alexi Casilla hitting as a right-handed batter. Twins hoping to pick up win number 92 today. And if the Rays can beat the Yankees, they would be tied, the Twins would, with the Yankees for the best record in the major leagues. First tiebreaker in that regard, by the way, is head-to-head competition. The Yankees have the advantage there. So the Twins, to get home field advantage for the second playoff round, should they get there, the Twins would have to have a better record than the Yankees.
Again, unless, say the Yankees lose in round 1, then the Twins would have. So there's a couple different scenarios.
2-1. Casilla with his 3rd hit. 2 is a left-handed batter. 1 is a righty, and he comes off the bench with a big game. 1-out single for Casilla. Last night the Twins clinched the American League Central Division championship. And you can watch it all again on FoxSportsNorth.com. We'll stream the celebration live to the web following today's game.
Yeah, we don't get too many shots of just the players relaxing and just enjoying the moment. Very nice celebration.
What percentage of the champagne and beer that was in the clubhouse last night do you think was actually consumed?
Probably hardly any at all. I mean, you saw as soon as they go for that bottle of champagne, they shake it up, make the cork pop and then spray everybody. No, I don't think I would be surprised if anybody sat there and actually drank it. They just wanted to pour it on each other.
1-1 to Kubel. A couple of strikeouts and a ground ball to 3rd. Strike. 1-2.
Aaron Laffey started the season with the Indians, but in the bullpen, and then sent back down to AAA. Got called back up, made some starts, 5 starts, then sent back down again, and just recalled not too long ago, just a couple days ago, from AAA.
Kubel, it's a long way, but it's foul. Still 1-2.
Now that's a foul ball.
Look, way back in there, a guy got it. Back by the gelato stand. And Kubel to left center field, drops a base hit. Casilla holds off at second in a pair of 1-out singles.
How did Target Field get built? You can learn some of the great inside stories into the design and construction process of the Twins' great new ballpark. Target Field, the new home of the Minnesota Twins, can be purchased at the Twins merchandise outlets at twinsbaseball.com. book authored by Steve Berg, is a fascinating look at the whole story of Target Field and a must for baseball fans.
Well, the Twins hoping to add another run or two to their lead here in the 7th inning. And Danny Valencia 0 for 3. And Valencia takes a strike on the outside corner. Valencia hitless, a fly ball, a ground ball, a strikeout. Which you joke about it all the time, but in reality, in his rookie season, it does mean he's due. We haven't seen him take many offers in his rookie season,
especially here at Target Field.
Yeah, 1-1.
Hitting well over 400 here at Target Field, and you know, it was asked why. Why is he having so much success here? And for some reason, you know, he said, you know what, they have the batting cage underneath. I just get to do more work here. You know, on the road, sometimes it's hard to get into the batting cage. There might only be one somewhere.
Bounce to the right side. Wonderful play by Valbuena, and he throws him out. Luis Valbuena with a long sprint to his left to take a hit away from Valencia.
Yeah, we saw Orlando Hudson try this play yesterday, and then he tried to backhand it, but Valencia playing a little bit deeper right there than Orlando Hudson was. Spins around, throws the ball in front of Laporta, and Valbuena able to get this ball into his glove, and then all in one motion, spin, and then get that ball over to Laporta. Laporta does a good job of picking that low throw.
Twins were stymied by Carlos Carrasco until Morales delivered an RBI double with 2 out in the 6th.
Like that.
Base hit to right. Casillas going to score. Another run will score. Morales is out at second. But the Twins get another big 2-out hit from Morales to score 2 more runs, and they lead it 5-1.
On Fox Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. Try a strawberry banana or wild berry real fruit smoothie today. By Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's National Clearance Event. And by the fast, reliable, secure, heavy-duty internet from Quest.
Jose Morales, a backup first baseman, finally getting a chance to play the position and delivering a couple of awfully big hits.
Well, you take advantage of the opportunity to play at the major league level. And for Morales, you know, here this afternoon, first time he's played first base you know, in a big league ball game, and has made some good defensive plays, and they got some big hits. Here's Brian Fuentes coming out of the bullpen for the Twins, who warmed up in last night's ball game, did not get in. But a great job by Nick Blackburn. Indians had 5 hits, and they all came in the first 2 innings. Blackburn ended by retiring the last 14 straight Cleveland Indian batters.
He got that double play off the bat of Sutton, and that seemed to turn his afternoon around. The 5 hits came in the first 10 plate appearances. 1-0 from Fuentes to Brantley. Fuentes, a valued member of the Twins team, even though he's only pitched a handful of times, but he's got some playoff experience. He's got some World Series experience back in 2007 with the Rockies. Lifted to left, and Revere retreats for the catch. 1-away. One gone in the 8th. And our AT&T trivia question. Bobby Keppel, I believe, was the winning pitcher for the Twins.
Yeah, your son Eric, he helped us.
Well, of course, but I think I knew that anyway. But Keppel had his only win of the season. Remember, both the Twins and the Tigers had pretty much run through everybody in that game. An epic game that looked like it could have gone either way 3 or 4 times just in the last 3 or 4 innings.
I think still that's one of the best games, one of the handful of best games the Twins have ever played in their history. And
as was suggested to me by a number of people over the course of the summer, that game did more for the game of baseball than any postseason game that followed. In terms of getting you on the edge of your seat, keeping you there. Folder out in short right field makes the catch out number 2. And that'll bring up Shin-Soo Choo. And Alexi Casilla with a big day at the plate as well.
Well, you know what? Again, the Twins are where they're at because of the extra guys, and they're all getting a chance to play here this afternoon, most of them, and making the most of every at-bat. Over right there with an RBI double. Well, Revere getting an RBI single. Casilla with 3 hits.
Choo lifts a foul. Morales with 3 runs batted in and a couple of big hits is our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. He's turned in a couple of nice plays at first base. Down and away, 1-1.
Yeah, Fuentes not only, with the Colorado Rockies in the World Series, also last year with the Angels had some postseason experience.
14 1/3 postseason innings. It's not like Mariano Rivera, but still, it's nice having somebody who's pitched in the World Series and been asked to get some big outs. Two and 2 to Shin-Soo Choo. And now a full count.
Twins have been playing unbelievable baseball since the All-Star break. The Twins are 45 and 18 coming into this ball game and finishing September strong. They are 15 and 4 so far in the month of September.
Just off the plate. One of the reasons they were able to expand the lead so quickly against the Chicago White Sox. Their pitching staff physically held together. Now, Fuentes had some back problems, and there have been some other things that they've been able to manage. But you look at the White Sox and what has happened to their pitching staff. Gavin Floyd left with what they hope is a minor shoulder injury. But Jake Peavy blew out earlier this year. Bobby Jenks is done for the year. He's not even with them on the road trip.
Freddie Garcia
with back issues. at a critical time. Matt Thornton was out with a forearm issue. Bobby Jenks with another back issue. J.J. Putz with a knee problem. You know, Ron Gardenhire at times has, heard about it from fans and other people about the pitch counts and treating pitchers so carefully. But his point is, look, in September, I want the same guys out there pitching for me that are pitching in May, in June.
Right.
And ultimately, I think that's one of the reasons the way this is all broken down in the Central this year. The Twins have been healthier.
Yeah, and I think it's the relationship that pitching coach Rick Anderson has with all the pitchers. You know, from the starters to the relievers. The communication that he has been able to get, and the feedback from the pitchers. Be honest with me. How do you feel? You've been up the last 3 or 4 days out in that bullpen. Do you need a day off? Just be honest with me.
We talked a little bit last night about Scott Baker's situation in the game. He started, and after 2 innings, his elbow didn't feel right. Boom, he was out of there.
Right.
2-1 to Hafner. Fuentes trying to wrap up the 8th inning here.
You know what I heard last night too, when Fuentes was interviewed or Matt Capps was interviewed. When they came over to a new club, they were welcomed with open arms. From the manager all the way down to the players. And someone like myself that have been traded before, you don't know what kind of clubhouse you're walking into. The personalities.
Liner to right and is snared on the first hop by Repko. Kind of a dangerous play, but he was able to glove it. Nearly made a catch on the fly. And now Chu and Hafner are aboard with 2 outs in the 8th.
Yeah, Hafner getting his second hit of the ball game. Got a couple hits in last night's game. Fuentes talking to Butera. Hafner coming out of the ball game. Struble Cabrera will pinch run for Hafner at first base.
You don't see many left-handed batters reach against Fuentes, and now back-to-back lefties have reached. And here's the righty Duncan with Cabrera running for Hafner. Cabrera wearing a wrap, a brace on that left wrist that he sprained last night. Excuse me, 2 nights ago. Strike at the knee. Twins have an off day tomorrow. They'll leave tomorrow night for Detroit. Play 3 games there, 3 games in Kansas City, and then come home to finish out the regular season against Toronto. Way out in front. 0-2.
Good changeup right there. Kind of a funky delivery that Brian Fuentes features. Because we talked about it before, it keeps that, for him, the right shoulder in a long time, and then all of a sudden here comes that short arm type of throw that he generates.
Two strikes to Shelley Duncan. Just inside, not by much. 1-2.
Fuentes, 35 years old, came up with Seattle, spent time in Colorado, the Angels. Now going the postseason again with the Twins.
Got him. That was with a foul tip. Nope, strike 3. Butera puts on the tag, and the Indians leave 2 on in the 8th.
The Twins are on the verge of sweeping the Indians, and after the game today, we'll bring you the Quest Twins Live post-game show. We'll include the Toyota post-game wrap, and we'll bring you Nick Blackburn and his solid start to this afternoon after he settled in. Some of the changes and adjustments that Blackie made, plus Bert's favorite instructional, pitcher's defense, pitcher's fielding practice this afternoon if the rain holds off. And we'll hear from Ron Gardenhire after what we hope, guys, is career win number 801 today.
For starting on the next 100 wins. Thank you, Marty. Matt Tolbert leading off the 8th for the Twins. He'll be followed by Ben Revere and Jason Repko.
And Jensen Lewis now in relief. And Tolbert gets his second hit of the ball game.
So a leadoff single here in the 8th.
Yeah, Jensen Lewis making his 34th relief appearance. He's been up and down 5 times with the Indians this year. Started with the Indians and then optioned out. And once you use one of those options, maybe you're the guy that's going to go up and down.
That's Jeff Manship.
Yeah.
Same thing. Here's Ben Revere. RBI single his last time up. Bouncer is short. Could be 2. On the bag, fire to first. Close play. You get a glimpse of Revere's speed, and the 2 quick outs here in the 8th. Two gone. That'll bring up Jason Repko.
They're hustling down that line. But the Indians turn a double play.
If the Twins win here this afternoon, then with some interest at least, they'll be paying attention to the Tampa Bay Yankee game tonight. Wade Davis going for the Rays, A.J. Burnett going for the Yankees. And if the Rays win that series, that would get the Twins into a dead heat with the Yankees for the best record in baseball. Repko drives it to left. And Duncan waits for it. And makes the catch. 3-man hit in the 8th. Twins have a 4-run lead going into the 9th. Toyota game reset, a slow start for the Twins, but a familiar story here at Target Field. They're taking a lead into the 9th inning.
Yeah, a lot of guys getting a chance to play that, because of some guys getting some time off here today after the celebration last night. And Jose Morales taking the opportunity to have a very good day at the plate. An RBI double in the 6th and then a 2-run single in the 7th. Here's Matt Guerrero making his 70th relief appearance. He worked here a couple nights ago on Monday night through one shutout inning, 8 pitches, all 8 were strikes.
1-0 to Jason Nix. Matt Laporta scheduled next, and then Luis Valbuena. 1-1. Marty mentioned the possibility of rain, and it looks like it could rain at any moment here, but tomorrow it's supposed to be just pretty much a steady all-day rain. And we don't have a game scheduled.
Isn't that something? Twins have been very, very fortunate with the weather. The weather gods have been very, very nice to the Twins this year.
2-1. Nix. Long foul, 2-2.
The Twins win today. The Twins would have the season series of 12-6 over the Indians in the 18 games played.
At the end of a bad foul. One thing that'll be different too, it's all but a certainty that the Twins will have the home field advantage in the first round. And they'll close out the regular season at home knowing that they don't have to go anywhere. The last time that happened was in 2006, but they had their bags packed, ready to go to New York, because until things got turned around on that last day when the Twins won and the Tigers lost, the Twins were ready to open up at Yankee Stadium. That was one of the reasons the celebration was so extreme. A, we get to open at home, and B, we don't have to go to New York.
Yeah, and postseason's going to start on Wednesday, so that right there, ball down in the strike zone for ball 4. The Twins will have a chance to work out here a couple days on Monday and Tuesday.
Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. And again, we'll take you back to the clubhouse last night. And a great scene, a great memory, and a lot of the guys responsible for the championship getting today off. And again, on FoxSportsNorth.com, have streaming of the video replay of the celebration last night. 1-0. Guerrero to Laporta after the leadoff walk to Nix. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
And for Matt Guerrero, this will be his third postseason appearance in 2006, last year.
I wonder if any fans are like me, though. And it seems like Matt might have been on your 1987 team. He's been around a long time, and he's been a key guy to some really good baseball teams.
They really have. Guy that is out there, he doesn't get injured. He's just very steady.
High fly to center. Span retreats for the first out. Let's go to Detroit for 3, Kansas City for 3, then the season-ending 4-gamer with Toronto. The Indians go home for a week, then they finish in Chicago. There's a chance, depending on how things break here in the last week and a half, that the second-place team in the division will be the Detroit Tigers, not the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, there's some money involved in finishing second too.
To the bag, Morales steps on it, out number 2, and on the play, Nix goes to second. So the Twins are 1 out away from finishing off another memorable homestand. Jimenez will hit, number 9 hitter.
Yeah, paid attendance today, 40,139. Their 75th sellout here at Target Field.
And 74th in a row, I think, right?
Something like that.
Way back in that Boston series, there was 2 games, I guess, that didn't quite sell out. And foul over where Ron Coomer
he's not in there.
He's not in there right now.
Darn it.
Marnie's over there.
Watch out, Marnie. Woo.
One strike to Jimenez. And a ball. Tapper to third. Fair ball, and the throw by Valencia wraps up a 4-2 homestand. And there's no team in baseball right now with more wins than the Minnesota Twins. Win number 92 today. And this memorable homestand, Anthony LaPanta, comes to a close with a series sweep over the Indians.
So much more to it than just 4-2 on the stand. We saw our first celebration. We'll continue our look back at last night here at Target Field. We'll also look at a day where the youth was served, and hear from Gardy next on Quest Twins Live.